Hi guys, I'm Gray Buck, and today we're going to be talking about my Lake Eufaula MLF Pro Circuit event, and it did not go well. Practice is what we're going to focus on today, and kind of my game plan to going when I got there. I had gone down for 2 days and marked a lot of brush, and that was prior to the off limits. You can have a Lowrance idling tips video that you can go back and watch, show you how I found the brush pile. It's kind of what I was looking for, where I thought they were going to be setting up. And I did that in practice, and I wasn't confident that was going to be the way to go. I caught one fish in practice doing that, but I had found a great shad spawn in the morning. That was kind of what my plan was going into each morning. Is I got up. The earliest we were allowed to launch was 5:15, so I had my boat in the water at 5:15. I was going. I was running banks, throwing this Z-Man buzzbait. Actually, it's not a Z-Man buzzbait, but the billy goat is the Z-Man. I put that on there. It's just kind of like similar to how you throw a toad on them. These legs here catch a lot of water and they kick. But I like it because it's elastic, so you don't get it all ripped up. You could put one on, you're good for the day. The setup here is it's a Rush. It's a favorite rod. It's a 731 actually heavy action. Soleus XCS 7-3-1 reel and Seaguar 17-pound line. That's fluorocarbon, so I like that because it has a little bit of stretch. It's a fairly heavy rod. It does have some tip to it, so the fish, when they came up and suck it up, would eat it and not get pulled away. If you wanted to throw a braid, you have to throw a really soft rod, and that's not my preference. So this is the setup I went with. So back to practice. I get there, the water's right around 70 degrees, so I knew there should be a good shad spawn going. I had 4 or 5 spots marked that I wanted to go check out right away. And at this point, the lake was still at, I think it was a foot over pool. I can't remember the exact number. If it was 169 or something like that. And the fish were in this gator grass, water willow, whatever you want to call it. This green stuff that sticks out about that much out of the water. And first area I pulled up to, I'm throwing this, catch a short, catch a keeper, keep working my way down, pick up spinnerbait, catch another short, go down this other bank, and I throw over behind the grass. I'm reeling my buzzbait with my billy goat, and a 6.5 comes up and eats it. And I think it ended up weighing 667 if I remember right. And this is all in the first 30 minutes of the morning. So I was like, Lake Eufaula, you rock. I was having a ton of fun catching some fish. I kept working my way around. I caught couple more that were like 2.5 to 3 pounds. So it was a good morning. Great shad spawn bite. And then after that, it stopped. There was nothing going. I couldn't get any bites. It was a really tough deal. And with only 2 days of practice, I went down. I ended up flipping a jig on some docks. Couldn't get a jig bite going. I kept throwing a buzzbait. I threw some baits at some offshore brush piles I had found that I was telling you about in practice. Never got anything going there either. So I fished until dark that day. It was a long day on the water, and with nothing to show for it other than knowing there's a shad spawn bite going on, I decided day 2 the morning, same thing. I was going to try to find a shad spawn bite. So I knew the one area that was going on in, so I wanted to find some more in that same general area. I was fishing near those causeway bridges. And it wasn't that far of a run, so I was kind of I was calculating into it, because if you had to make that really long run down the lake, you were going to have less time of low light with the shad would be spawning. So that was what kind of played into that factor too, why I was fishing where I was. So I was able to expand on it. I found 2 or 3 more areas of that water willow that had fish in it. Just throwing my buzzbait, catching them again, and they weren't as big as the first day, but I had some 2.5s and probably 1 3-pounder. And I was happy with what I found for the morning. And then again, I went into this long time without bites. I started fishing that offshore brush again. I had one on a drop shot. I got them wrapped up in the brush. I just couldn't get them out. So after fishing for that stuff for a while, I just realized it wasn't going to be my game plan. I wasn't going to be able to catch enough fish, I didn't think, doing it. And I was going kind of all in on that gator grass, hoping if I threw my buzzbait and punched it long enough, I'd be able to find something. The other thing I found was you could punch this Z-Man goat, and on an angler tungsten 1 ounce weight. You can see it right there. Shows it's 1 ounces on it, so you know exactly which one you're picking up. The Hayabusa FPP Straight shank hook is what I use with that setup. It's an HD version, so it's heavy duty. You don't have to worry about straightening that hook out. You can pull back on as hard as you want with your favorite rod. So the punching deal, like I had got some bites, I shook some off, but it wasn't what I was going to stick to. So basically after the second day of practice, my plan was go throw a buzzbait early in the morning, and I thought I could go catch 2 or 3 fish, get a couple keepers in the morning, settle down, and then just fish all day, grind, and get my 5, which I thought it would have been 5 fish there was a pretty good feat. If you could go get 12 pounds, 10, 11, 12 pounds in there, you were doing all right. So that was kind of how my practice went, my game plan. And if you want to see how day 1 goes, you can check that out. I also have day 2 up, where there's a lot more fish caught and some big bowfin. So if you're going to check out the 2 of those, check out day 2. If you have any questions or comments, put them in below. If you want to try out any favorite rods or reels, you go to their website, use the code GB20, it'll save you 20% off. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out that Z-Man Billy Goat. You'll like it. All right, so now we're getting ready to start day 1 of the Lake Eufaula MLF Pro Circuit event. This tournament did not go how I was hoping. Day 1, if you go to my practice, you can hear about how I was catching them off a shad spawn, Z-Man Billy Goat on a buzzbait. Fishing this water willow, that was the key to it. I go in a lot more detail if you want to hear about it. But by day 1, the water had dropped 1.5 feet, sucked a lot of those fish that were up in that water willow out of it, and I knew I was going to be in for it. I wasn't fishing any offshore brush, and it hurt me. It really did. I went and threw this for the first part of the morning. I was also throwing a swim jig with a white one just around the docks, and that's how I ended up catching my first keeper. I was just swimming a jig down the edge of it, and it came off of it and ate it just from that shad spawn. And after that, I caught a couple shorts and really had nothing else to show for it. It was a really tough derby. Day 1 was not going well, not how I was hoping to see it. So if you want to check out day 2, highly recommend it. Day 1, practice, I go over in detail kind of what I had found, but I had to make some key adjustments the second day to try to get a bigger bag, which I improved, but not by much. So thanks for watching. If you have any